Fair bet to say there's at least 300 people showed up today? Safe bet. Most of you came because you were mad at us. Most of you came because you were told something that wasn't true. Most of you came to defend something that you thought was under attack. Nobody's attacking anything. Everyone that's spoken so far from this panel has tried to get you to understand. We're not against you. We are not against your wishes. Virginia's in a mess because 50.4% of their population decided that they were going to show up and vote in 2018. Across the nation, in 2018, 49.3% of the people showed up to vote. You focused a lot of energy coming in here and attacking us. Some people have focused a lot of energy attacking us personally because they wanted this to happen. What happens when it does happen? Everybody's high-fiving, everybody's grateful, but it's just like this meeting right here. There's almost a third of you that's already gone home. The people that were so bound and determined they were going to be here and they were going to stand up for this couldn't even stand a 2 or 3 hour meeting. We've got a lot of judges, conservative judges. We've got a lot of conservative candidates that will fight and defend your right, will not legislate from the bench because of their personal feelings, but because of what the Constitution says. If these people will not stay here, what happens if you upset the other side? Virginia lost because the other people decided they were upset with it. Virginia lost because they didn't get out the vote. One of my greatest fears in this is that we're going to do something that's going to upset the other side. They were shocked on Election Day when they lost control of Virginia. They had had control of it forever. The saddest part is this voter turnout in Virginia was the highest since 1914. 100 years people have not been going to vote. There's 43,000 people in Haywood County voting. If we went down and we pulled out the number of people that are voting, what do we have? If you went to the election board and asked them how many people, what percentage voted, you would be astounded. Because I can promise you, when I ran in 2018, there wasn't 43,000 votes. Wasn't even close to it. My fear is that if you upset the other side, what happened in Virginia is going to happen to you in 2020. Because just like the people that would not stay here long enough to even hear what we had to say, they don't care what we have to say. They were mad at us and they came to give us their opinion and then they decided it was time to go. If we're not in this race to protect our rights, if we're just sprinting along and we're taking issues that we want to attack and we're motivating people to come and attack us, what's going to happen in 5 years? Nobody says that this has to be done to North Carolina in 2020. They can wait 2 years. The legislatures are back up for vote again. They can change the legislation in 2 years. If you really want to protect your rights, we're not opposed to it. I grew up with guns. I have 2 boys that are Marines. I have more guns at my house than I need. If somebody gets in my house, there's going to be an issue. I'm not opposed to this. But what I am concerned about, and the reason that this is taking a little bit of time to figure out, this has been a great turnout, and I appreciate what everybody has said. I don't want to make something that's going to cost the people of Haywood County when you go back. I've looked around this room the whole time I've been here, not counting county officials and people that I have interacted with. There's less than 10 people in this room that I have talked to on the phone. There's less than 10 people that have ever come up to me in public and said anything to me. My phone is published everywhere. It's all over Facebook. It's all over the county website. It's at Farm Bureau. Everything about me has been about letting people have a voice. A conversation on how I feel, I don't have a problem saying it. A conversation on anything I do, I don't have a problem saying it. If you want to call me and talk to me. Nobody on this board ignores people. Everybody that is here will answer your phone calls and they will talk to you. Now, that being said, we want people that are going to treat us like human beings. We didn't sign on to come up here and represent you and put up with all the pressures and all the things that come along just to be berated and badgered and picked at. That's not what I signed on for. I signed on to be a voice. And I have people that I call on a regular basis when issues are coming up in this county, and I ask them when I get my agenda on Thursday what their opinion is, what they're hearing, because I want to do what's right for the people. I have voted against some things that I disagreed with. I have voted against some things that other people that I trust their judgment saw something else out of it. The commissioners that are sitting up here, we love the citizens of Haywood County. I can promise you we didn't do this because we wanted to be important. We didn't do this because we thought this was a good idea. And we certainly don't do this to do anything detrimental to the citizens of Haywood County. All I want you to do is stop and think. When this is over with, and something will be done, I have told numerous people that. When something is done, I want it to be right. And so does everybody that's sitting up here. Everybody says, oh, we've been sending resolutions. We've been doing this. We've been showing you how to do this. Well, if you read the resolution, it says, some of them say that we're not going to expend resources, which means the sheriff's office, to enforce any laws about gun control. That's not legal. The sheriff told you he swore to uphold the Constitution. We have told you we swore to uphold the Constitution. A resolution, whether it means anything or not, makes us anarchists. Because now, all of a sudden, we have just a little bit of piece of paper that says we have some authority to defy the government. Go down here and get on the interstate. Run 75. I'm sure when that trooper walks up to you, he's going to ask you your opinion on what you think the speed limit's supposed to be. This is no different, folks. We didn't create the laws, and there are none in the works. One thing about freedom of speech, and a lot of people don't understand this, there were some bills that were thrown out there that were introduced in February by Democrats. It was large counties, Wake County, Mecklenburg County, Durham County, for gun control. But you know what? That's their right. The free speech applies to the other side. The only difference is we've got to keep conservatives that do believe in gun control in the House, in the Senate, in the governor's mansion, and as lieutenant governor. We've got to have these people as judges that will stand up there when somebody tries to pass something and it gets to them, that will look at it and go, you know, this is not constitutional. I'm not going to do this. That's what we have to do. This here, I'm glad you people showed up. I really am. The problem is I wish it was because you were motivated to help us figure out a solution to make a difference. Instead, it was because you've heard things about Brandon, you've heard things about Kevin, you've heard things about me. You have heard how we are not being receptive to this idea. It has nothing to do with us not being receptive. I got 2 messages today, 2 emails today from people that are on the other side of this fence. If I decided all of a sudden I was going to make an ordinance in Haywood County that says you can't have a red car in Haywood County, is that fair to any of you? Without you being told, without you having an opportunity to voice your concerns? No, it's not. Nobody here is trying to take anything away from you, but that's the pretense that you were led to believe that we were trying to steal something that is very valuable to you. I promise you, between my boys and myself, we could start our own war. But when it comes right down to it, we don't need to start our own war because there's no reason to. If it ever became a reason, then I could see some of this. But at the end of the day, I want you to understand something. When this resolution is done, if it's not done correctly, even though it doesn't have a legal standing whatsoever, it can transform Haywood County. 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, we don't know the outcome. And that's some of the weight that comes along with the decisions that you consider to be very simple to make. I can understand your passion. I have passion for a lot of things in my life. But I can't let my passion make me make a silly mistake that could end up costing my boys or that could end up costing my grandchildren when they finally get here. Thank you for all of you for coming out. I really do appreciate it. But please try to understand. We need this activism getting conservatives elected. You need to talk to the candidates, find out who supports and believes the way that you do, and you need to work just as hard for them as you did to come here tonight. And the folks that you know that left, you need to relay that to them. We need to do more. We got a primary coming up on March the 3rd. We got a general election coming up in November. I can promise you, if we're not out there working, the other side is. They're trying every way in the world. I've saw all the Tom Steyer commercials I want to see. I've saw all the Mike Bloomberg commercials I want to see. But you know what? I really can't say anything because they're out there and they are pushing their cause just as hard as they can. Please stand up and push your cause. Push what we're all here for today and push the things that matter to each and every one of us. I can promise you, anybody that's been around me for the last 2 or 3 months since this whole conversation has started, my focus is in defending the entire Constitution of the United States because that entire Constitution will be under attack. This is just the first phase. If they take my guns, they can take everything else. But every piece of this is going to be attacked before it's over with. Channel this energy and don't let it die tonight. And like I say, if any of you want to call me, my phone number's out there. Call me anytime you want to, and we'll have a conversation. Thank you.